Hello, hello. I'm going to use this little microphone because we have the sounds of the crashing ocean outside. And yeah, I want to make sure that I'm hearable and feelable in this little sharing that I'm going to give today. It's my birthday. I I'm 40. And yeah, I just feel like I really want to, before I get into my ceremony, I really want to share a little update and a little bit about um, how I feel on this portal on this day, and just invite you a little bit into my world today because, yeah, I feel like I want to. It feels accurate. I feel very full. I feel very, very at peace and whole in myself, and I really just want to share it. And also just update you about what I've been doing in Hawaii. I planned on updating yesterday, but I actually read then there was like this planetary alignment that was actually flattening me, and it made sense. There's like seven planets that came into like one straight line, and I could feel it. Sometimes we have plans and then astrologically things shift and you can't do anything about it. You just have to surrender. When you're sensitive, you definitely feel these things. So if you're not sensitive to astrology, sometimes you'll have days where you just feel like you can't move. That's usually something to do with the astrological energy that's going on, because we cannot be separated from the wider picture of what's happening, as much as we like to think that uh, we are and we have free will in it. The more sensitive you are, the more you're tuned into these movements. So yeah, I said I would leave it until today, and I have the energy for it today, and it feels right to invite you into my little birthday ritual. I'll show you what I've got going on here. I've got like my copal burning, some frankincense as well. I have this beautiful like vanilla scented candle. I'm really enjoying like the smells. I have some nice flowers going on here that I picked yesterday on my run. I'll just try and lift them and show you. Got a big bunch of flowers. I've picked them for myself, to me, from Mother Nature. I've got a little kombucha, little rose flavored kombucha made in Hawaii, toasting my birthday. I haven't drank alcohol in almost 3 years. It's not part of my field anymore because actually it's very much linked to plant medicine. When I started really diving deep with the mushrooms, they told me that no other substances, not even caffeine, uh, could be consumed as I was going through this initiation, and it just stayed with me. I don't have any stimulants or any other substances that alter my state anymore. And when you feel the frequency of alcohol, it makes you less conscious. And, part of my purpose here is birthing consciousness. So it doesn't really align with my values. It doesn't align with my mission. So, yeah, I don't have any need for it anymore. And I understand what it serves on a collective level too. It helps people to get more into their body, to tap out a little bit, because this reality can be quite intense, and it can also help people be more in their emotional body and bring stuff up that is in the shadows that would not normally be seen. So I see its purpose as well, but it's not for me in this phase of life anyway. Nothing against it. I just feel like I'm not resonant with it anymore in terms of my vibration. I don't know if you'll be able to hear the waves crashing. I am literally right next to the ocean. I'll see if I can turn the camera around one sec. It's like, if you can see, there's a lady sitting out there. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but I literally have had like nobody here at all since I've landed here. And today, like literally 10 minutes ago, she decided to plant her little deck chair there. And with what I have planned to do today, she's going to get a bit of a show. I have okay, I'll share what I'm going to do for my birthday. I really love the birthday portal. Such a potent time of like reflection and visioning, because it's the astrologically like the entry point that you chose to come through this earth field into this reality. So it's a big reset point or rebirth point for you in terms of your journey in life. And I really got in touch with this maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, when I became much more conscious about like reality and how it operates and portals and what they are. And I really started to see like how working with the portal was very magical for me. So I always make this space for myself to have a ritual. And I'll share a little bit about like the difference between last year and this year. Last year, I was with my partner, and he's not really into birthdays, and he really also is not into celebrating others. It's not available to him. No, no blame or no fault. It's just not something that's in his field. And I was in Bali, and I ended up with like third-degree sunburn because of a decision that I made to go to an island that was really counterintuitive. And I was lying feeling very alone and uncelebrated. And it's a very big contrast to this year where I am completely with myself, completely alone, like very far away from everyone on the other side of the world. And I've never felt so not alone. Like I don't feel alone at all. I feel really with myself. So I'm just want to acknowledge that. Like I feel really blessed this year. I feel like my birthday, it was like the contrasted experience. Like we always live through these paradoxes of like what we truly want, and then we have the opposite experience to propel us towards what we truly want again. And I feel like most of people who are on some sort of conscious spiritual journey, which is everyone, but a lot of people are unconsciously on it. Like everyone is here to grow and to learn. Um, I feel like most of our life is spent actually trying to get space with ourselves to be still and to truly listen. And what happens when people have that space is like they start to feel everything that's on the inside, and it gets a little bit overwhelming or scary, or you get a bit agitated. So it's hard at the start to be with yourself on that level. And I feel like in my experience, like most of my life has been about learning how to truly be with myself on deeper layers. And right now, in this moment, I can't think of anything I would rather do on my birthday than truly be with myself and enjoy myself, enjoy my frequency, enjoy what's on the inside, be present, like allow creativity to flow. Yeah, it's like the greatest gift. And I do remember the first time I gave myself permission to be with myself for like an extended period of time, to like go into the forest and not speak to anyone, not engage with the outside world, to truly go in and listen. It's it's profound, to give yourself that gift. And I try and give myself that gift as much as possible. Then I can consciously choose how much I want to be with myself with others, or how much I'm actually able to be with myself now with others, that I'm not getting pulled out of my experience, or I'm not erasing myself or erasing my needs in relation to others, and like truly learning how to operate more as one being. And yeah, I have a bigger bandwidth to be with all of that. So I'm noticing that, and yeah, just feel very grateful that I'm truly going to be with myself today. So what I've planned, I got these uh, psychedelic chocolates. For those who don't know, I grow my own mushrooms actually, to journey with people and to hold space for people. And these are from the beautiful medicine woman that I was sitting with, and they have like a Ethereum, bentonite clay, saffron, blue lotus, and rose, along with mushrooms and chocolate. So I'm going to take a little microdose today. I don't feel like I need any big journey. And what I really started to notice, and this is something I'll share a little bit when I get into speaking about I'll do my best to share, some of my plant medicine experience. Something that is very, very challenging to share actually is a plant medicine journey, because it's so much outside of the mind realm. Bringing it down and sharing it, it loses its potency. It's like you had to kind of be there and be in it. But I love to try and translate this experience and the why you might want to do it if it calls you, and how to engage with it, and my experience of the medicine, because yeah, I just feel like it can be interesting and maybe insightful and useful. And so the reason why I wait as well before sharing is, when you have an experience and it's profound, it's very good to hold that experience inside of you and to not need to put it out there too soon, because when you hold it and you allow it to marinate inside, it kind of retains its potency for longer. So you get the integration and the embodiment of what you discovered by not sharing it too prematurely. And it's the same for anything. Like, how much can you stay in it just a little bit longer so that it doesn't lose its potency? So if you do have an experience and you have this immediate need to share it, sometimes there's wisdom in like waiting a little bit longer so that you don't, so that you get the most from it actually. Like you truly get to receive all of the nuggets before you output it again. So yeah, today I plan on doing a little microdose, which I don't need. You know, I can go very deep on a microdose now. It's like the more you do plant medicine, the more you realize that the dose is pretty irrelevant. And you start to learn how to stretch your consciousness into these layers of reality without the medicine. So you don't even need to take the medicine. Like you can just tune into that consciousness, and it can, like I can tune into ayahuasca now because I know the medicine, and I can feel myself going into that realm in meditation. So these are kind of benefits to becoming more conscious and more aware of reality and what is actually going on here, is you actually learn how to access these realms without medicine. So yeah, I'm going to take like a micro dose to allow myself to gently drift into that space today. And I plan on, I got this beautiful, I love this case. It's like golden, the golden chalice. I got this from the lady that I was journeying with. She makes these. It's made with Andara crystal, which is really rare. Look at that. I'm going to put this down and I'll play it. I don't know how it will come out on the microphone, but look at this. Oh, it's such a beautiful, pure tone. Yeah, something I'm very in tune with right now is my song, um, and praying through song and allowing myself to channel through sound. And this is something that I've been in touch with for a good few years, especially when I journey with the medicine. I was seeing how my channel would open and how transmissions of codes would come through my voice. And you know, when we have this like memory of the teaching from Christ consciousness of in the beginning, God said, "Let there be light," and it was the spoken word that sent things into creation. And when you understand that intention to create something through sound, the sound and the intention and the energy gets sent through what you output. So the feeling that goes with what you sing is actually something that you're setting into motion, into creation. And when you understand that everything in the physical form is created in the energetic realm first, you start to realize that you're truly creating a new consciousness through and a new life through the things that you say, from the feelings that you feel. And prayer is just that. It's setting something into motion through intention, through truly feeling it. And yeah, I feel like part of what I'm here to do is to bridge the reality gap and the understanding around prayer and around intentional creation, and you know what we're truly here. What are our abilities in this reality, and remembering those abilities and remembering those gifts and remembering the power of prayer. And this is something that I really got confirmation on with the plant medicine. You know, when you do medicine journeys, just to go back into sharing about that a little bit. By the way, look at this beautiful lotus. I'm going to make a blue lotus tea. Having a very feminine day, which feels very accurate because I'm in a phase of like really birthing more of my feminine essence. And yeah, I came on this journey to Hawaii to sit with this medicine because I really needed just a gentle like reboot or reset or recalibration back to my higher self, because of everything that I've been through in the last year. And I actually planned on being here last year, but it didn't go to plan. I can't remember if I shared this in the last video, but I'll share a little bit about like, you know, why here and this teacher. And I had a dream, not a dream, a vision when I did a Temescal ceremony. It's like a sweat lodge where I saw like Hawaii, or I saw Tahiti actually, and that I was going to meet this like female teacher there, which is interesting because Hawaii is not Tahiti, but actually this teacher does whale boat journeys in Tahiti, in Moria, which is basically like the land of Moana. And I feel like I'm supposed to do this journey as well there, and that will probably come at a later date. But yeah, I had this vision about 5 years ago that I would meet this teacher here, and I've just been waiting to discover when that timeline would happen. And it was supposed to happen last year, and I deferred it to January, and it's the right time. It's my birthday portal. I feel ready, and my intention was actually exploring and understanding miracle healing on an embodiment level, and also to clean and heal any residue from like what I've been through over the last year in, you know, my journey with my health and my relationship. And yeah, I'll share more about all of what's been happening in some other videos. And yeah, my intention was to heal this and to also reclaim and harvest the gifts of everything that has happened, and to reclaim and call back any gifts from past lives. And that was just something that came in like intuitively as I was speaking the intention. And if you haven't journeyed with plant medicine and with anything in life, intention is the most important thing. Why would you do anything? Why are you doing it? It's I never approach, especially the medicine, without having a very clear intention. And you know, sometimes you know that you really need something, but you don't know what it is. Even, you know, sometimes that's okay if you're not truly in touch with what you need. But when you know what you need, and when you have questions to your higher self, to source, you can get them all answered through being very intentional. So I always have some questions that I want answered and some things that I want to explore when I engage with medicine. And I knew meeting ayahuasca would be like a very important experience for me. I didn't realize how much at home it would feel, like how much that reality feels more like my natural state. And what I really noticed actually with all of the medicines that I did Bufo, and I did a few ceremonies of that, and I did San Pedro as well, was that, well, the medicine only shows you more of who you are, so more of what's on the inside. And it helps you to grow. It helps you to grow spiritually. It helps you to grow into your purpose and to discover why you're here. It assists you in showing you from a wider perspective and a deeper layer of who you are, you know, what's really going on in your life. So everyone's experience is very unique to them. It's really important to know that. Like when people share their plant medicine experiences and you think, oh, I wonder why I'm not having that experience. It's just because you are not them. You know, it shows you who you are, not who anybody else is. And this is the beauty of it, because, you know, part of my purpose here is really to uncover and untap and free people out of the conditions of who they're not, so that I can see and reveal and start to experience like who they truly are. And I want to see a world, like my vision is to see a world full of people who remember who they are, their uniqueness, their essence, because everyone is very unique and everyone came here with very unique sacred codes, very unique essence, and nobody can give you that. You have to discover that inside. And what I really learned through working with the medicines is that, you know, I was discovering this. I was in the discovery of that. I was really birthing my higher self into this reality. And I was remembering the divinity that I am. So yeah, when you do this work spiritually on yourself, and you're working, and I don't really like to call it spiritually because it's actually reality mastery. You're learning how to be human as a soul. You're learning how to be more embodied in your divine essence as a soul. You're learning how to live more in integrity to who you truly are, more in alignment, more congruent with your soul essence. And it's learning how to come home to yourself fully, learning how to love yourself fully. You know, self-love is self-realization. It's the same thing. So sometimes people can call it woo-woo and blah, 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 but it's actually very practical in terms of like happiness and wholeness and fulfillment in life. And when you imagine that you know that you are here for something, but you don't know what it is, like it becomes your duty to discover that. And I know that I am here on this spiritual quest to birth new consciousness as a divine guardian. And I'm able to own that because I've seen it on so many different angles and had so much confirmation of, you know, why I'm here and what my purpose is. And I have such a deep love and connection to what that is, that it's undeniable. And my purpose isn't any more special than anyone else's. I'm just in touch with it. I'm just deeply in tune with like why I came here and what I'm here to do and my mission. And I could cry with the feeling of like being awake in this time and truly remembering that it's so special. And I'm dreaming of a time when everybody is in this remembrance, that we can live this heaven on earth together, that you actually truly remember your soul's blueprint. And we're so conditioned and programmed out of our power as a human. And you know, you just look around at the reflection of that in the world, with like the disconnection from the heart, the disconnection from the humanness. There's a lot of ego running the world. There's a lot of war. There's a lot of turmoil. There's a lot of starvation. There's like so many things that are coming from programs of fear, that it's a big, it becomes a big, it feels like a big mission to actually birth the opposite, to create the opposite in a world that shows you the reflection of fear, and to find the beauty amongst the absolute trash, amongst the forgetfulness, amongst the mud, to find the lotus and appreciate the beauty of the lotus that's growing in the shit, basically. And we all have to find that lotus inside of ourselves that's birthing from all the shit that we've been through. So yeah, I really feel like the medicine is an opportunity for you to clear some of the shit and to polish the mirror a little bit, polish the lens, to unlayer some illusions so that you can truly let go. And what I really experienced this time with the medicine was just a gentle landing back home into who I really am on a deeper level, and also just a confirmation of the work that I have been doing on myself, because the medicine feels more like my natural state, and the states that I access on the medicine are states that I access when I'm doing work with people without medicine. The states that I channel from, I just got to see them more in high definition. And also, like, without the mental constructs, especially with ayahuasca, it teaches you to not be in the mind. Like, I could see anytime I went to the mind, the DMT would switch off. It's beautiful to be in this training experience. You're being trained how to let go. You're being trained how to surrender. And the first thing that I got when I drank the first cup of ayahuasca and I sat back down, the medicine taught me to sit up, put my feet on the ground, and drink 2 full cups. And you know, I've never done this medicine before. I've been waiting for this moment to do it. So I didn't know, you normally just drink 1 cup and then wait. And I just asked for the second cup because I'm listening, right? I know, like, I implicitly trust these messages. And I drank 2 full cups, and I had the most beautiful, deepening experience into understanding the embodiment of the miracle. It's very hard to describe because I'm trying to describe something that's very multidimensional. You know, we have this physical body, and then we have this mind that makes things very small on a lens level, whereas we are so much wider than what we can see and perceive through the senses. And when you get into your third eye perception and you're able to access other realms, and then you get into the medicine that helps you access those realms as well. There's no silver bullet. You have to do the work in your own consciousness to be able to surrender and stretch. Hi, sorry.
Are you burning something in there?
It's incense.
It's very strong. It's almost going to set the smoke alarm off.
No, it won't. I've been burning it for a few days. I'm recording a video, so yeah. So interesting. Sorry, somebody just asking me if I'm burning something in here. Yeah, I'm burning incense. It's not setting the smoke alarm off. People are so concerned about controlling reality. Like, is my incense that troubling to you? But you know what? This is copal, so it's a smoke that will cleanse and purify and bring stuff up. And it's kind of good to notice that, like, these spiritual substances do actually irritate entities of the mind. And I notice as well, like, the reason why they're used when you're working with plant medicine, there's different smokes. Like, I really dislike sage because I feel like it pulls energy out of you, but it's very uncomfortable, so when I feel it, I feel the smoke like pulling this energy up through you. So it's very cleansing, very purging kind of energy. And then like frankincense and some of the lighter ones are much more like pleasant. They're more spiritual. They feel and they smell much lighter, and they're like lighter touch, bringing a different frequency. So they're all different frequencies. And if you have an entity of the mind, like I will say of the mind because the entities come from fear-based, shadow-based programming. They there's someone drilling something. I hope you can hear me okay. Yeah, and the entities of the mind get irritated by something that's going to pull it up to be seen. So you will see this in people who have fear-based entities or programs of control that they really won't like when you're doing something that's going to bring something up to be exposed, to be seen. So you become an irritant. What you're doing becomes irritating. I wonder what will happen here actually if I start to sing and be in my process. Like I've not had any interaction with anyone for days, and I've been here for a few days, and now I have 2 people already. This happens sometimes when you're doing medicine. It's like the ingredients that come into the field is like when I anchor a point of consciousness, when I open my channel, it will shake out anything that is not of the light. And it's also a reflection of like building the strength to be in the world that is swimming in shadows and swimming in forgetfulness and not being able to be in harmony and not being able to stand with everything in love. And it's hard to stand up in full light in this reality. And I realized this last year especially, I've been building strength inside of myself and conviction inside of myself to be able to stand up more fully and share. Even sharing these topics now, it's before it's been quite difficult for me because I was feeling like, oh, people won't understand the layer of consciousness that I speak from. Sometimes it can be hard to understand if you're not in it, but I also want to give people the opportunity. I want to invite them into a different layer of reality. So who am I to deny that opportunity to share my experience, no matter what, no matter how it lands, no matter if people judge me, if they think I'm crazy, it doesn't matter. I know myself. I know my experience. I know what's true through my lens of reality, through everything that I have grown through. So when you have that deep knowing inside of yourself, you're not speaking from the mind anymore. The mind is just translating what you truly know. And this is the channel in action. You're sharing something from deep experience. So yeah, I hope that you will get some little nuggets from what I share. And if you don't understand a lot of what I'm saying, it's okay. Maybe at some point it'll become interesting to you. Maybe it won't at all, because your mission here can be quite different to mine. And that's perfect. We're all here on different missions, and we have to learn how to be cohesively living together and operate as one, and to not dim ourselves because somebody else finds us irritating, or because your light is shaking up their shadows. It's very important that we learn to truly birth what we are here to do, no matter how it's received on the outside. So with the medicine, ayahuasca taught me to drink 2 full cups, and I did, and I sat up for the whole journey pretty much. And I just witnessed, and from the very start I knew, and I had the message that it was all about how much I could surrender and how much I could allow. And in this experience, I really saw, it's funny that actually I had this experience with this lady saying I was irritating her, like how we let other people affect our reality or infect our reality because we're not strong in ourselves. We're not strong in like being in connection to our experience. And we're in a field of a lot of noise and disturbance and distortion and smoke and incense and sounds, and like there's builders outside drilling, and we're in a world where our peace is very disturbed if we allow it to be. And can you truly be undisturbed and uninfected and unaffected by your surroundings? And it's funny because I went to do a one-to-one journey because I really know the power of being with the medicine in stillness and in silence, and I really didn't want anybody else to infiltrate my experience. And it's like the cosmic joke of like realizing that I hired this amazing, beautiful channel, and of course she's going to be singing into my experience and inputting her channel, which was really accurate. And then also I learned in the experience like how to truly be with myself, even though there was somebody else directing or being in the energy or directing the energy. And I got so many gifts through this experience of sound and like truly learning how to listen to my inner sound, even though there was a lot of outer sounds happening. So I didn't allow the outside to affect and infect me. And this is something that I've been looking for, is that deep sense of connection with myself and peace with myself, even though I'm around other people and there's other things happening. And yeah, I feel like that was one of the really big gifts that I got. It was like I was still able to surrender to my own experience, to what wanted to truly happen through me with the medicine, independently of what was coming to me from the outside. So that was a really big gift. To try and share a little bit about what happened, like I had this question around miracle healing, and I really got the experience of miracle healing is all about how much can you allow the miracle to be true in your whole being. It's not just a mental level. It's like you're letting go of all of the holding patterns, the programs and the conditionings that are holding you in a certain state of dis-ease, and how much you can allow the recalibration to happen. And I could actually feel the parts of me that were like loosening and breaking open through allowing. And I went into a huge emotional activation. I don't know if you've ever had emotional activation. It's like your whole body starts to tingle. You're crying with a feeling of like this relief. And it's like I experienced it a lot before when I was working in Tantra, of like this energy all over the body, this tingling. So my whole body was lit up with this electrical energy, which was the impulse, the currents flowing through me, which is the complete recalibration. And I really got to be in the experience of witnessing this miracle happening. And it was a miracle healing of like a quantum shift of remembrance of I am the miracle. We are all the miracle. And how much can you allow that to be true in your whole being, not just in your mind? And I feel like people, like miracle is very simple, but it's not easy to embody, because if it was easy, everyone would be well and everyone would be remembering that they're the miracle and there would be no disease. And I feel like people oversimplify creation of reality through thinking. Like if you think this way, you will get that. The thought frequency is very small in terms of like its ability to change reality. You have to feel it and believe it in your whole being. So it's engaging every layer of reality. And in the ayahuasca, I was being shown what I already know about reality in terms of the intersecting dimensions and how they all click together in this point of presence and remembrance, and how the calibration can happen because everything comes into this 0 point access, which I've been deeply interested in for the last few years. This is the reality that I've been exploring in my own experience in life and my own meditations. Yeah, so that was one experience that I was having. And then I went into this full remembrance of like this lifetime in Egypt, which is interesting because on my way, I went to Egypt last year. I had like a really crazy experience there in terms of like my channel. I do this thing it's called grid working, where you visit different places that you're called to go to in the world and you anchor a point of consciousness there. So I open my channel, I sing, I pray, I channel what wants to be channeled into the lands there from like who I am. So I anchor me, basically my codes into these different parts of the world. And like I said, the creation happens through this embodied experience, through the word, through sound. And you set that creation into motion in the field. And if you truly spend time praying into the land or praying into the consciousness in that area, it's like turning a light bulb on in that area of consciousness that stays in creation, because everything once created stays in creation forever. And that's why our word is so important, and like the impeccability of our word and like integrity of our word. We're casting spells all day long, whether we're creating unconsciously or consciously. You know, if you're gossiping, you're creating big karmic feedback loop. So it's very important that you're tuned into what you are creating with your thoughts, your movements, your actions, your frequency, your intention, your energy, your output all day long. And even just the state that you sit in, even if you're keeping it inside, you're still creating something by sitting in a certain consciousness or a certain energy. So yeah, when I travel, I do this grid work, and I was in Egypt last year, and I tried to open my channel twice, and it was infiltrated. I was stopped. There was like once was in a temple, and a guard came running over, telling me that I can't lie down where I was lying down, that only the guardians can sleep there. And I will have to tell you many different stories to like, link in all of the pieces that came together in this journey. But I'll just give you an overview because I'll be here for hours otherwise. But I discovered on many different occasions, through plant medicine and through my own meditation and through my own remembrance, that part of my soul's blueprint is to be a divine guardian. So it's like a guardian of sacredness, a guardian of the divine. And I access this parallel reality life, and this will probably sound really out there to some people, but it's true. We exist, and when science starts to study the quantum realm more than the physical, we will make quantum leaps in terms of like what we actually know to be true. It will open a whole different vortex of learnings, that we actually exist in different realities all at once. We're just in this physical reality experiencing the limitation here, but actually we have parallel lives happening. And one of my parallel lives is I am this big white dragon, and I actually have the memory of like where I came from and how I was birthed in that realm through this like weird pink flower that had this plasma in it. Sounds strange, but even for me, it's like I've had so many different experiences with this dragon, and different people saying they see this dragon around me as well. So it's like all of this confirmation of like this divine guardian dragon. One of my main guides, or the first guide that ever came to me, guide is like on the spirit realm, somebody that assists you. And we choose our guides because we come here with a certain purpose on a certain mission. And one of my first ones was Isis, and she's like an Egyptian divine guardian. And so this divine guardianship, there's been many experiences where this has been a theme. The angelic realm is very much around me. The angel wings, this remembrance of like, this is why I came here. Having a lot of transmissions around this as well, like really getting the full flow of like what it means to be a guardian of the divine. And then also my theme, which is kind of the beautiful like interwoven tapestry of like the challenges that I came here to overcome and to live, is my theme over the last few years has been boundaries, that I wasn't being a guardian of my own divine feminine. And I had sorry, I don't know if that affected it, but my battery is low, so I better not be too long. I actually had cervical cancer, and I'll go more into sharing more about this in time, but I was seeing like this, like the representation or through the physical was actually the cervix is the gatekeeper of the divine feminine of the womb. And my boundaries were not spoken and implemented, and I didn't take care of myself in relationship on a level where I was feeling safe, I was feeling good, I was feeling protected, like I wasn't protecting myself. So like the challenge that I came to grow through is to embody that in myself so that I can be that in this world. And yeah, kind of seeing the interwoven tapestry of like the beauty of these mystical experiences overlapping with actually my physical challenged 3D reality of what I came here to understand and to embody. And when you start to see your challenges in life are like they're paradoxes, they're gateways to your gifts. You start to understand that you're only reclaiming parts of yourself through everything that we're challenged with. So yeah, this was interwoven into that time of like this guard in Egypt was saying that only the guardians can sleep here. And I was just like, wow, the cosmic messages that are coming through this reality were quite incredible. Anyway, I could see the codes when I channel. I see and feel and experience the codes. I can see them visually in my third eye, and I can hear them and then translate them through my voice. And in Egypt, in that time, I was laying in the desert about to open the codes and sing them, and some other person that was actually our guide that had brought us into the desert interrupted me right in that moment, and I could feel it was some program, like this woman coming in like with her disturbance of the mind. It's called Watiko. It's like this shadow, this distortion, this infection of the mind came and interrupted this very sacred experience. But I also felt like it was divine protection for me, because when we open our channel, we're really exposing ourselves to all, especially in Egypt, there's so much going on there psychically. So I feel like there was some protection in that for me. But then on my way over here, and this is the beauty of the medicine, you have this kind of warped view or vision of like how time is actually working. You can see this stretched out timeline over a lifetime or over a few years of like the story that's being woven and unfolding, and then it all comes together in a moment, sometimes on the plant medicine, where you see it stretched out and then you see it compressed. So time becomes a very interesting thing. We only experience time in this reality because we're much slower here than we are up there. So we exist up there as well as down here at the same time, and that's hard for people to understand because we're in the limit of the mind. But when you experience these things and you're astrally traveling, you know what's going on a deeper level. So yeah, I then noticed that I came through it was Luxor in Egypt that this was all happening last year, and I just randomly, like intuitively, booked the Luxor Hotel in Vegas on my way here. So this was kind of like a little nod to like the journey that I was going on, and I booked it because of its location, not because it was Egypt. And then I saw many things about this, like how it was like a fake version of Egypt, and it didn't have like the same feeling at all, obviously because it's a copy, but not the original, right? And then it was quite funny to me, like I had such a strong feeling that I don't want to go back to Egypt in this life. It just feels like, well, not now, just didn't feel good there. And I think it's because of my past lives, and maybe I needed to clear this piece first, or maybe I need to get stronger in myself if I am to go back there. But at the moment I don't feel it's necessary. But Egypt came to me on the ayahuasca, and I could see the exact same codes that I was opening when I was in Egypt last year came through in the ayahuasca. And I was in this deep remembrance of like an empire that had fallen under my rule. Like I felt like I was some, I don't know if it was queen or like guardian or something, or I witnessed it, but I turned into a pyramid witnessing the empire falling. And I purged a lot of mental toxins. I turned into the Sphinx, and then I was purging, like in this Sphinx position, like purging into the bucket, just a small purge of this like mental toxins that allowed that empire to fall. And then I was taken into what's happening in LA, like the fires that are happening in LA right now, and realized like Los Angeles is the city of angels, and it's a falling empire as well. And I could see like the destruction and the creation happening at the one time. So it's like the old ways are falling, and we have an opportunity to rise as one and to rebuild more consciously. But also there's an opportunity that more unconsciousness can also try and build. And I was seeing this like smart city. It was like this clamped down, looked kind of artificial, robotic like structure clamped into the land of LA, and it felt like it was trapping consciousness on some level. And not to say that's bad, we just have evolution of consciousness happening all over the place. So there will be people that have like that everything has burned to the ground in LA that will build from a community, like rising as one. And you can kind of see that the community came together. And then there will be other darker agendas that try and create more disconnection from nature and more disconnection from the land. And yeah, it was just really showing me the pain of the disconnection from oneness. And a lot more happened. I got a lot of remembrance. Like I really got in tune with the prayer that I need to sing and bring through to this land. And the magic of like the little pieces that are falling into place. The guy that I met, I think I mentioned him in the last video in Vegas, that I was sitting next to, that took me on a little tour around Vegas after the Michael Jackson show. He invited me just a couple of days ago to come to LA, and he wants to bring me to some sanctuary there that is his favorite place. He's conscious, but he's not so in tune. I just feel like he's listening to his intuition. and spirits working through him to bring me there so that I can sing these codes into the lands. And I really feel that. And he offered it as a birthday gift for me to spend 3 days showing me around, bringing me to this sanctuary, showing me whatever he wants to show me. And I just thought that was a really beautiful little, divine synchronicity that made it irrefusable. Like I could not say no to this. So yeah, I'm kind of paying attention to the flow that I'm in and the little pieces of the puzzle that are happening as I move through life in connection to fulfilling my soul mission. And this is probably going to sound very off the wall for anyone who's living like a normal job that is in society in any kind of normal way in the matrix. Like I was there. I know what it feels like to work 9 to 5, to be in that realm. And I know what it feels like to not be in that realm and to be in my divine flow. And have to keep moving forward with living my truth and living my purpose on this level, even if other people think I'm absolutely crazy. That is okay. It's like you can't know from outside of an experience that you're not in touch with, a layer of reality that you might not be in touch with, and that's okay. It's like this is my path. So yeah, I feel that's going to be the next phase after I go to Miami. I'm going to meet a client there, and I'm going to meet a friend there, and going to see what wants to happen there too. There's a reason why I'm going there. Then I'm going to go to LA and work on the consciousness and anchor a point of consciousness, do some grid work there, and open my channel there and see what wants to come through in terms of praying for the worlds that I want to see, and setting it into motion through prayer. And prayer is our most powerful tool, and it's been very distorted through religion, and we've lost our power in terms of we've been praying to this external God to save us. This is a program. Nobody's coming to save you. You are here to save yourself from that reality, and to really remember the power of your own divine connection and the Christ consciousness energy that wants to come back through everybody. It's a really big topic, but it's something that I'm deeply in tune with. The Book of Light, this records of this level of consciousness, is the full remembrance of the Christ, the Christos, the Christ energy that wants to flow through us, that we are the second coming. It's the consciousness that, and I see it, it's coming down through a lot of open channels right now. And it's knowing that you are not God, you are not the creator, you are an embodiment of Christ consciousness. You are here to live as a divine being in a divine vessel, in a divine body, and the body is as sacred as anything else, as the soul. This is equal. It's a co-creation between your body and your soul. Yeah. So I think that's enough. I mean, I could share a lot about everything that I experienced. I mean, I will share a little bit, like just the other medicines. Bufo felt like a full recalibration, and it's much faster medicine. And I would say this is a medicine for more advanced journeyers, because I've seen and I've coached some people through Bufo experiences. And if you're not doing the work on like building a pathway to these layers of consciousness, it can be very destabilizing to be blasted into source energy and to the experience of oneness and all that is, and letting go of the ego, and then coming back down into this 3D limited reality and not having a pathway back there. But for me, this pathway is very much built. I've spent a lot of time and energy and presence consciously connecting these pathways to these other realms and to source. So for me, it just felt like home. And I could see like how much, again, it's about how much you can let go and allow the recalibration to happen, and how much you don't fight it. And it's like a full system reset. It's like rebooting your computer. So it's very big medicine, very big medicine. I had other experiences on it too, where I was seeing on like high definition, the codes the realm that I channel from, and the divine notes, and just having the most incredible experience of like the source of love, like this feeling of like, I know this really well, but like having it on high blast. And I want to say as well, there's really no silver bullet with medicine. You get rewarded for the work that you do on discovering and exploring your own consciousness. There is no medicine, there's going to be no magical medicine that you can take that will eradicate disease or that will get you what you want. There is no shortcut, there is no escape. So doing the work is the way out. The way in is the way out. The way out of your fear is you have to go into them fully, you have to face them fully. There is no silver bullet. Yeah, and then with San Pedro, it's funny as well, like a lot of people talk about these medicines as like male and female, like San Pedro is the grandfather and ayahuasca is the grandmother. I don't really experience them having like a gender at all. I felt like I just feel like this is just the story that we create around the medicines. Like definitely ayahuasca had a hint of like mother energy, but it could have equally been father, even though like the voice that I heard was more feminine. But that can just be my experience of the medicine. You know, I've had other people say it felt very masculine, you know, and for me it feels unisex because it's the same with mushrooms. Like I couldn't put a gender on it. And I had a very heart opening experience with San Pedro and a very big experience of oneness. And again, prayer was the theme, song and prayer. And it felt very feminine actually, but I think that's just what I need right now. You know, I need this feminine remembrance and this nourishment and this kind of soft, beautiful energy. And you know, a big part of the San Pedro journey, I was just crying with so much beauty. We did this beautiful water purification ceremony, and yeah, it was just incredible. It was really just really what I needed. Like it gives you what you need. Not what you want, what you think you want. The medicine gives you what you need. And this is something that I noticed. The closer and the more in touch you are with your needs, you get what you want as well because they're intertwined. You know, the more in touch you are with what you actually need, because sometimes we think we know what we need, but it's an illusion. And then sometimes we're deeply in touch with knowing what we need. Like I knew I needed gentleness, beauty, feminine energy. I knew the questions that I had, and I got everything. I got all of it. And that just for me was a reflection of my connection to me, to what I need and to why I'm here and to the questions that I have and that they're important to me. Yeah, we make meaning out of everything, and these are pieces of my puzzle for my tapestry in this life. And yeah, I feel very blessed. I'm very grateful that I gave this gift to myself to come here and to have this experience, to heal, to regroup, and to move forward and feel this like strength of connection and willingness to show up and serve, and the importance of birthing consciousness through my channel. Like I feel the importance of like fulfilling that mission, and that's why I came here. So yeah, thank you for listening. If you made it this far, I tried to summarize it as best possible. But maybe if you're interested in this, I can share a lot more stories about plant medicine and how I navigate it, and you know how it just becomes like a macro and a micro, like zooming out and zooming in on the point that you're at in your life, the point that you're at in your journey, in your tapestry, the point that you're weaving right now. And this is why no two journeys are the same, because you'll never be this version of you. You'll never be at this point again, and there's specific growth that you're moving through in this time, which is why the medicine can be useful to do when you feel called to, when you feel like there's something that wants to move through you, and then eventually you don't need the medicine. And I feel like that blending of reality is happening for me, where I can access the medicine field where you become the medicine, that you don't need to take it anymore because you've grown into, or you're embodying more of that consciousness. And you know, that's what they are. They're teachers of consciousness. They show you more of who you really are. So yeah, if you want to know more about that, I can dedicate some time to create more videos. If you have any questions, feel free, or comments, feel free to share them in the comments. Like, subscribe, the things that people say, right? I would like to start sharing more on here. So yeah, my commitment is to do that. And thank you for listening. I'm going to go and get into my ritual for today, and then I'll upload this video and then log off and truly enjoy myself and truly be with myself on my birthday portal. So yeah, thank you. Take care and see you in the next one.